Yeah, start already.
Okay.
Not bad, not bad. It was quite... Sherry missed it. Hi everyone, welcome to the Bowling Trail.
This is our first video for our channel. Okay, let's start. What are we talking about today?
Sonic International Open.
Sonic International Classic.
Ah, yeah.
We still haven't get the title right after 5 tries. Okay, it's happening next month, April 6th to the 9th, and it will be held at Sonic Bowl, SAFRA Yishun.
Yes.
So a little bit more about that. Sonic Bowl?
Brunswick Lanes, very old.
Brunswick Pro Emeralds.
Very old.
Very old.
Very, very
I bought
old.
CD there about 20 years ago, so that's how old it is.
Yes.
So there's going to be a little bit more friction as compared to like a newer lanes.
Yeah, and the approaches are a bit patchy, so remember to test slide before you start going.
Important tip right there. Moving on to the format.
So it's qualifying over 3 days. Each day is 8 games. And then
We move lanes every 2 games.
Yes. No surfacing of balls in between games.
So we have to take that in consideration when we are setting up our arsenal because it's first of all it's mixed gender
Yes.
and there's no surface adjustments and there's 8 games.
Yeah.
Yep. So those are the key points that we have to take into consideration.
Yes.
Right. The oiling pattern.
It's 45 feet long with about 30 mils of oil, so it's a pretty much loaded pattern. But I think because the surface is old, so you won't see that much. You will still friction on the lane, so your ball will definitely hook.
Yeah. Ice conditioner. So it's gonna be quite long. Okay, do you think we'll have carried on?
Probably a little bit, especially if there's urethane traffic going down.
45 feet, you think people will use urethane?
Some might. We can't control what the other people use, but what we can control is our own arsenal. So
So if you can't beat them, you join them.
keep that in mind, yeah.
Okay.
And also because it's ice, I feel like speed control. We have to pay attention to it. It tends to skid a little bit more when it's ice conditioner as compared to fire.
So slower, better.
I feel lah.
Okay.
You?
I feel only slower on the first game.
Only slow on the first game. Okay. Well, we can all be different. Nobody is the same, right? Okay. So I guess we'll run through each of our individual arsenals, and then we'll see from there.
Yeah.
Alright, stay tuned. Alright, so this is going to be my rough ball selection for the Sonic International Classic that's coming up next week. First out of the bag would be the most important piece of them all, my plastic ball, because spares are really important and don't miss them. Right, so because it's going to be held in Singapore, I have the freedom of putting more pieces in. I put a urethane in just because it might be against the guys, and guys tend to use urethane. Alright, so moving on to the reactives. I have the DNA, the Ghost Lock, and the Reality. These 3 pieces are solid ASIM, and the major difference between these 2 and this would be the pin placement, because this is pinned down, and the rest of my balls are pinned up. So this is going to give me a slower ball transition and a smoother shape in case the lane gets really dry and I need to control the back end reaction. I will do it with the Reality. The oiling pattern is 45 feet, so I have to put in some stronger ASIM pieces, which is these 2 balls. This is the earliest read you can get out of the balls these days, and it's going to have a smoother and controlled back end reaction as compared to the Ghost Lock. Most of the balls that I have are pretty similar because as a left-hander, you don't really need to have too many step downs because most of the lanes that you go into will most probably be fresh. So the major consideration that I have is probably to replicate the ball motion that I can get from one lane to the other through the ball surfaces or the bowling ball. And sometimes, because we cannot change surface when we move from pair to pair, So sometimes I will put the same surface on these two balls. So when I move to a fresh pair, I still can get the same surface, because after 2 games, this surface will be gone and you can't get the early read. So to combat that, technically I will put more of the same pieces and I just adjust the surface accordingly. And that's why I also have these 2 balls, which is the Idle Black and the TNT. They are symmetrical, so they're going to be a bit less aggressive off the breakpoint. And this is going to be a little bit cleaner through the front as compared to the TNT. So I can adjust my shape and my length with the Abralon pads. Right, because we are bowling against the guys, I feel that I need balls to help me go through the front a little bit better, because when they migrate into my path, the first 15 feet gets burned up pretty badly. So I can't get the ball out as easily. So I do that with the Infinite Physics, which is a Pearlized ASIM, and Fate, which has a much higher RG as compared to the rest of the ball. So we'll be able to go through the front a little bit cleaner. Alright, so there you have it, my 9-ball arsenal for Sonic International Classic.
Okay, so for the fresh, I like to start with my gem. It's a peanut ball. For this pattern, I'll bowl around 16, 17 at the arrows. Oh, going very long. I would want to hit that with some surface. We'll see how it goes on the same line. Why you go longer? Why you go longer? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go to my stronger release to see if it can pick up earlier. I don't want to change surface already. Yeah, okay, so it's more read with my stronger release. So like when I changed to my stronger release, I stuck in my pinky. Yeah, okay, so the next ball option will be the Zen Master. It's a pin down ball. Yeah, okay, that was close. I think maybe like a O2000 would do the trick, but that's my fresh options. So I'm going to talk about how I bowl the transition. I like to start with a pin down, maybe a stronger ball with a cleaner cover. Then I can be like more forward with it. Not bad, not bad. Okay, so I'll just try my breakdown options to see if like it can complement that ball. So I'll go to a ball that's even cleaner and a stronger core, which is a nuclear cell. It's exact same layout. It's a lot quicker and sharper, more angular. So I know I can go into that when this ball starts to be lazy. I don't really know what to say, you can cut first. Okay, so the nuclear cell was too jumpy and too angular. This is another shape that I'll go to, the Idle Synergy. I'll stand in the same place again, same release, and see how it goes. Okay, that shot was not bad. It was very continuous. So it's a different shape from the nuclear cell. It's less jumpy, like I can control it. So from the Nova, I can either go to the Idle Synergy that is smoother, or I can get a bit more kick if I want to with the nuclear cell. Okay, for the breakdown, I like to use a high RG ball like this, the High Road X. I prefer a solid version of the High Road series because the pearl is a bit too clean and a bit sharp sometimes. So I'll just show it on the same line, same release, see how it goes. Yeah, it's trying very hard to make that turn. Yeah, so I can definitely see that for the breakdown. And another breakdown option I have is the hustle wrap. So like if you can see the drilling, this is a 3.5 inch pin, so it's a bit stronger. I can see like it wants to pick up a lot sooner, but the back end motion is a lot lesser. So all these are my ball options. It's a 8-ball arsenal. So it's all about creating different shapes and having different options at different times.
Right from the start for my fresh, I would have a few options. These two are the solid asymmetrical, really strong. One is pin up, one is pin down. This is the reality. This is my DNA. So my reality would kick a little bit more at the back end compared to my DNA, where it will shape up a little bit more. And another option that I have for the fresh is actually the urethane. I picked the Zen U instead of my pitch black because it's a 45-foot pattern. And I feel like I needed a stronger urethane as compared to the pitch black. After these two asim balls start to get a little bit tired, I'll be moving on to the phase 2. Because it's symmetrical, it would be smoother and it will retain a little bit more energy at the back. After the phase 2, I will be moving on to either the Absolute or my either Pearl and Exotic Gem. So depending on what the lanes want at the point of time, the Absolute is a hybrid asim. It's really clean through the front for me, and it has quite a violent back end reaction. So this is the transition ball after the phase 2. However, when I move further left with my Absolute, I tend to face a little bit more issues with the shaping it upright to carry my pin 10, because it's an asim ball, so it tends to stop at the back, whereas the either Pearl, it's symmetrical, so it's a little bit more continuous at the back, yet clean at the front, like the Absolute. So I might use these two interchangeably depending on what the lanes want at the point of time. Another option that I have is my Exotic Gem. This Exotic Gem has a really tall pin, so the transition will be really quick as compared to my other two balls, these two balls. Moving on, I have my Fate. This is the sort of the last ball in my arsenal, the high RG option, where it can really go through the front very well when it's sort of burnt up, because we are bowling with the guys, so I feel like they would be further left of me most of the time. And when I finally get there, I feel like the front would already be burnt up, so I need something that can go through all of that traffic and still have that strong back end motion at the back. The last ball in my arsenal is my plastic ball, the most important one. Can't forget about the plastic ball. Yep, and that's it for my ball selection for Sonic International Classic.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.